Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this live show. Voila! Last week, when we were doing live session, you had an orchestra playing next to me, and many of you asked me, "Can we see the orchestra?" And these are the two wonderful ladies who played music for all of us. One was on keyboard. Her name is,
Manvita.
and the elder one, she was on guitar. Her name is.
Manaswini.
So many of you know my kids. I have been talking about them. They are my blessings, and they learn. I learn a lot from each of them. My wife's name is Lavanya. She works for a large multinational. She's a chartered accountant. So we are here to talk about what family means and why we are saying family as a team. And to join us, we also have a guest family, Dr. Sonali and her family. There they are. Hi, everyone. Okay, I have to unmute you for a second. Yes. Okay. So that's Dr. Sonali and her wonderful family. Can you say something, Sonali?
Yeah. So it's wonderful to be here, Bhaskar. Thank you for inviting us. And of course, such a privilege to be with the entire family here. I also have my both the pets here who are, on the floor, but they are very excited about this entire experience.
Yeah. So could you introduce us to your family, including the pets?
Yes, of course. So my husband, Captain Somnath Datta, so
Hello.
he's with Air India and he's a pilot. He's in the skies most of the time, very busy, flying all over the place. My son has taken similar footsteps. He has also joined the aviation industry and he's with Indigo. He has recently joined. In fact, it's been like what, almost 8 9 months now. Post his training, he has started flying, and that's my daughter Saloni. And she
Hi.
has, of course, the exams have been called off for class 12, so she's preparing for her
Yay.
comparative exams. So that's
Are you
my.
excited, Saloni?
Are
Are
you
you
Your exams
excited?
are called off?
It's half good, half bad.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so same with Manaswini. Her 10th board exams were called off. And let's hear
Haha.
from her
Yeah,
herself.
Wow.
same. It's like a mixed feeling. Like one way, it's like good because it's not there, but because we won't have to go through that nerve-wracking experience. But at the same time, we're prepared for like nearly more than 12 months, like 15 months, and all that preparation is not
True. Very
Useful
true.
now.
yeah.
Yeah, true. So
And
thank you so much for and the two pets. Yes.
yeah, yeah. Can you lift him?
No, you can take this
Acha, you
down.
we'll just take the laptop and show you.
Ah, nice. They are very patiently. Hi.
Oh, they're so cute.
So cute. Oh, okay, okay. Good. So you know that we're talking about you. Okay, I think they lost their connection. They should be back soon. So, meanwhile, thank you so much for joining, guys. Please do leave your comments on the chat window. Where are you joining in from? And what is your question on this topic? And yeah, as a very unusual topic, we are talking about family as a team. So you must be having a lot of questions. Yeah, there they are. Yes, they
Yeah.
are back. Yes.
So
Sorry
that
about that.
that was me. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. So during this pandemic, we have realized one thing:
Yeah.
anything could happen, and we should be prepared and stay focused and positive. Yeah. So that's
Absolutely.
fine. Thank you so much for joining us quickly. So I was just telling the audience to share where they are joining in from, and also what questions they may have in this discussion. Anything that they would like to know more about. So we have Mr. Muthu Kumar. Yes, hi Muthu. He is from pharma industry. Recently, he has taken a second career after serving almost 3 decades, right, Muthu, with the company. So wish him all the best. And let's continue our topic, family as a team. Okay,
Right.
Manvita, she has taken some notes, and that's something that I believe is a side effect or a benefit of this pandemic. It has made us come closer. She's a 9-year-old, and my elder one is 16. They have taken some notes and they want to share some of their thoughts. So, either of you, whoever is ready, you can start.
Yeah, so I wanted to know Manvita's perspective on what does family as a team mean to you?
So, recently, I've learned the acronym TEAM. Together, everyone achieves more, and I can actually relate it to my everyday life.
And
So,
she made a placard for all of you to see.
Oh, wow,
Right. So,
awesome.
where did you hear this? And why do you think it applies to a family?
because
So many technologies
when me
involved.
and my sister we clean our room, so we both help each other. I make snacks for her, and then sometimes she teaches me stuff I don't understand, so it actually helps our mom. So she has our mother has extra free time to do her own work, and it's really been helping everyone, and things have been going very smoothly, and it gets really more it
Quicker.
yeah, it gets quicker.
Okay, good. Now, about you, Manas.
Yeah, even I think you're right. Another example I would say is that for our podcast, which we have launched recently, Be Shorts, even in that we follow a divide and conquer policy where there's division and distribution of labor. So everyone brings something different to the table. For example, whenever me and my dad, we are brainstorming for different ideas, or even we even brainstorm for ideas, all four of us, mom, dad, me, and Manvita during dinner or lunch. So that
Right.
time, Manvita would write down all the ideas which we are discussing, and also she also comes up with a lot of improv during the sessions, the recording sessions. So everyone contributes to it together.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
that's
Sonali,
wonderful.
you were also talking about how you have support of your family in
Right.
running few things. Would you like to add to this?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I think, what you guys have been mentioning, that especially during the pandemic, we all realized that we had additional skills, right? So whether it comes to cooking, whether it comes to cleaning together, so everyone has been kind of contributing, and it's like now all the skills are shared by all the people in the house, and especially my daughter. I was having a discussion regarding my blogs. At times I used to find it, oh my god, what am I going to write today? So one day we were just sitting and discussing, and she said that, why don't you have a theme for every single day in the week? And that's how we came up with this idea. And of course, he is the person who proofreads all my blogs. I've been kind of pestering him, why don't you write some? Because of his flying schedule, he has not been able to pen down anything as yet. My daughter, of course, has created some videos and stuff for us. So that's been like really exciting working together as a team. So far, we have been working with a corporate team, but now we have a special dedicated home team with us.
True, true. And as you rightly mentioned, we uncover many hidden talents within our family, right? So,
Mhm.
like you mentioned about your daughter's creativity, and
Mhm.
I can say both of them have shown immense talent in many things which I was not aware of earlier. And the
True.
kind of questions the little one asks, it really
Mhm.
stumps me. At this age, I was not this articulate, or I was not asking so many questions. I was just taking things granted, or at the face value. If my father
True.
says something, I would take it as a dictum. But here she questions me every walk of my life, and that puts
Mhm.
me in a position of a mature parent. And Sonali, parenting, there is no training, or there is no school to
No
learn. You just learn
certification
by,
as a parent.
yeah, no certification either. So I know during my corporate life, I used to travel a lot, and I spent very little
True.
time at home. only on weekends. So I didn't see many of these shades of brilliance from either of them. And this pandemic, for some reason or the other, has helped me to see the good qualities, and also there are many hidden talents that I have uncovered. So let us change the discussion to the next section of our flow. How and when do we know that a family is not a team?
For example,
Yep.
like when mom, like she does all the work without anyone supporting her or helping her, it's not called family as a team. It's only called family as a team when everyone pitches in to help her. Like one person, like dividing and conquering. Like one person does one thing, the other person does one thing. So the work also gets done easy. Like the work also gets done easier and faster.
Yeah, true. How
Very
about you,
true.
Manas?
I think it's when there's like a space where everyone's opinions are respected, and even when someone is getting judged by someone, there's someone else who's there to step in the front and say that this is not right, you shouldn't be doing this. Everyone has each other's back, so that's when family is a team.
So, what
Very
are the
well.
things which, yeah, Sonal, what are the things which tells us that a family is not a team, or when?
I think, like your daughters have mentioned, that one is team spirit, the other is having each other's back. Because within the family, also, sometimes when we share opinions, right? Uh, I think instead of taking it personally and feeling bad, we should actually articulate our thoughts about it and debate it out in case we are not in concurrence with what is being said, right? Because it's very important that that clarity emerges, because that makes us a stronger person. So one is that. The second thing is that, of course, uh, when we hold on to certain comments for a long duration and keep feeling, feeding it into our head that, okay, X said today, mummy said this to me, and then, like, I'm not going to speak to you for some time, right? So letting go is one major attribute that one has to inculcate. So we are not being a team when we are holding on to things personally and feeling sad about it, and not going and talking to that person that, you know what, you said this to me, I'm not okay with it, right? So yeah, that's my perspective. If you would like to add something.
No, you have the last word.
There he goes.
We know who is the boss at home now.
Uh, they say I am the boss, but I have my wife's permission to say so.
Yeah, very well said. In fact, the joke is we are clear about who is calling the shots, as long as it's not me.
I know.
So
No,
even the
it's not that actually. In a family, no one calls a shot.
yeah, I
It's
know.
only in these rural places that you have where the uneducated creeps in, that you have people calling shots. But in a family, no one calls a shot. See,
True.
a family is a family when everyone is happy. And when someone is down, that's when a family comes in, not friends.
Mm,
You know?
very well said.
You know.
Yes. And sometimes friends who are so close, we call them family.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
absolutely. Yeah.
that's very rarely found. Very rarely found.
True. And I can say I'm fortunate to have lots of friends who I consider as my inner circle, and they would
True.
come to anything that is required for my help, and I also do the same. And this is something, family is not just the blood relation that I'm talking about. This is my experience. uh,
Hmm.
it's something beyond as a concept. How do we work together? There is some connection that we have together. So now let's talk about, also I'm inviting audience to share your thoughts on when do we know that a family is not a team. Now let's move on to the next part. Unless Saloni and uh, you have
So my
anything to add. So
No, nothing to
very shy, huh? Okay.
So, what happens when a family works together as a team?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's there up on the screen right now for all of us. What happens? I can say one word: magic.
True, absolutely. So, Bhaskar, just wanted to add to what you just mentioned that even in our corporate lives, we have worked with our teams as families, and that's the reason we have been able to achieve whatever goals that were set for us, right? So, our appraisals are a direct consequence of what our team members or so-called family members at work do, right? So I think that's a very critical point when it comes to working together and believing each other in context to whatever we are doing each and every day.
Absolutely. And in fact, there are a lot of people who have said, my work team is my family, because
True.
we spend most of our waking time at work. That's how
Absolutely.
typical corporate life is.
Right.
We
Right.
log in at around 8:39 in the morning for a stand-up meeting, and it goes on whenever the issues are tiring, and we said, okay, let's sleep over. Till then, we keep talking
Right.
and we keep working.
Absolutely.
And in fact, it is important for us to also believe that a family is more a concept. And now, when we talk about during pandemic, we share workload, right? There are
Right.
many restrictions which came in during pandemic. For example, in our society, the committee did not saw it is safe to allow maids and cooks to come. It's
Right.
not good
Right.
for safe for them as well to come all the
Right.
way, and we had to do everything on our own. And like
Absolutely.
Manvita mentioned earlier, if we don't divide and share our workload, it's going to be a burden on one person, and
True.
rest of us become freeloaders, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And there are a few comments which are there on the chat window. We have Naresh who says, yes, divide and conquer like a team. Yes. And we also have Raman on YouTube. Yes, interesting conversation. Thank you, Raman. We have Gopinath who says, without contending what all you say, help. I could not help thinking that spending required time with the family is a privilege only for the elite husbands, not those like me. Why would you say that, Gopi? Why would you say that? So please explain. Yeah, there are people who keep traveling for work. Perhaps,
Yeah.
Dr. Datta, you are part of that tribe, right? You keep traveling a lot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, his travels are like part of his day-to-day routine. So there's no Sunday, Saturday for us. It's like whenever he is there, we celebrate a Sunday.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, that's a good concept.
And I also remember you were telling me before that it's not the quantity of time one spends, but the quality of time that one spends with family. So that's another important aspect to ponder upon.
There you go. Yes, Gopi, I think you may have got some answer there, and please do share more on your question. Let's also move on to another observation from Shiladitya. Yes, like in marketing, we speak of house of brands and branded house. Similarly, team as family or family as a team. Yes, the perspective, yeah, clear more in pandemic. Yes, the perspective became more clear more in pandemic.
During
Yes,
pandemic,
yeah,
absolutely.
right. Absolutely. Thank you for that. And we have Raman. When family works as a team, there's a lot of positive energy. Things just go with the flow. Everything is managed, even in difficult situation. Absolutely. Well said. Yeah, so that's something I have also found. There could be a difficult assignment or some kind of dilemma that I'm working on.
Right.
When I share it without sharing too many background, one or two questions would trigger a thought, an idea, and then I'll go back and try it out. It may work wonders for me.
Very true. In fact, sometimes what happens is when you sit with your family, they are the most candid with you because they know you inside out of how you generally react to certain things, how you might have certain blocks, and their perspective brings in a new window to the entire, story.
True, absolutely. And a couple of other pointers here is, in fact, Manmita, when we were preparing for this discussion, she
Hmm.
mentioned something about a fist. Why don't you say that?
So it's like there are 5 fingers in the hand,
Mhm.
and there are like different shapes and sizes. But when they're together and they form the fist, like they're stronger together.
I
Wow.
found it very amazing. I never thought like
Yeah.
this at this age.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Did you read about it somewhere, or how did you think of this?
Like I like the different people in the family. Yeah.
She watches YouTube, Netflix so much, and I had to innovate, such assignments within the family to keep them engaged. So this is
Yeah,
one way of,
absolutely.
taking them
Mm.
out of all these binge watching.
I know. I know.
So we
In
also
fact,
have Prakash. Yeah, sorry. We also have Prakash with us,
yeah,
and he says when family work together, they do miracles. Yes, Prakash, absolutely
very
right.
true.
Yes, Sonali, please go ahead.
No, I was just mentioning that, I have that habit of binge watching, and my daughter doesn't watch TV, Amazon, Netflix, internet, nothing. Okay. So I keep asking her, how do you motivate yourself to completely give up social media and TV?
Detach yourself from all
Yeah.
this.
So it's something that she has mastered in last couple of years.
Yeah, I think
And
we
she's,
should hear from her. How do you do that?
yeah.
What
I have
keeps you
no
occupied?
interest, I guess. I have no interest in all these things.
So,
I
what
guess.
what does interest you, and what is your area of excitement? What do you work on?
I like nature. I find a lot of interest in nature and associated things like that, like animals and plants.
Wow.
Those-
Okay. And when did you when did you find this kind of interest in nature?
When I was developing my own individuality during some phase of life, I guess, then I got to know what I'm interested in. That's,
I think it's frozen.
yeah,
Is it the internet?
it's good.
Are we still there? Bhaskar, are you there?
What should be my answer?
I think what you gave was
That was
right.
very nice. Yeah. I think we are online, but
He's
for
frozen.
their,
Yeah.
video has gone on hold. It's the internet which
It's
is
not
the
like I
issue.
ever wanted to, but then the situations necessitated me to go to internet and access classes.
Which is good, right? So a part of learning and knowledge is that only.
Yeah.
Many things in
You
life
are, we are
experience.
still there, but Bhaskar, yeah,
I'm
he's
sorry.
busy.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
we
are
lost
back
you
now.
there.
Yeah. So, could you help me where did we lose our conversation? Yeah,
Yeah,
Saloni was
so
telling about her interest.
yeah,
Yeah.
just share.
Huh?
What you just said.
Ah, I feel that, mm,
Somewhere along the line, we said.
yeah, I guess,
So
uh,
Well, I guess
Just repeat what you said.
let me help you one thing with a
The
question.
question again.
Typically, there is a peer pressure to participate in some or the other group activity with friends, right?
Right.
So, how do you handle those, and how did you move away from Netflix or any other gadgets taking away your time?
um, like I made friendship with nature, and then when I spend time with people, I mostly talk about things that in common interests, like something common to all of us is the environment that we live in and um, how we live. So,
Way to go. Way to go. So Y2K, 2K kids actually very conscientious about nature, about how the organization where they are going to work is giving back to society. All these are very critical because I think in our generation, the 70s and 80s kids, we
Yeah.
did not get everything on a platter. We had to work hard, and we have seen our parents work hard. Uh,
Hmm.
so the complete uh, expectation and the kind of personality types are also shifting, I believe. Right?
Absolutely. Because, the current generation kids, they have seen it all, right? When they were born, they had these iPads in their hands, mobile phones, everything. So, beyond a certain point in time, they started investigating the authenticity and the requirement of these gadgets and how are they positive to what extent. And that's when she came up with this thing that we need to do more for the environment and spend time there and so on and so forth. So yeah, let's see, she wants to do a lot of things around that.
True, true. Good. And I think Raman also agrees with you on this. It's
Hmm.
important that we look at each other for inspiration and pull each other up. And that's how we learn. Nupur has a question. I find it very interesting. Sonali, you want to take this up? How to
Yeah,
deal with
so
shortcomings of family members? Yeah.
okay, that is the reason of family dispute. Okay, I think like every person is a mixed bag, right? So when you accept their talents, when you accept all the goodness that they bring, along with that, we need to accept their idiosyncrasies as well. So it's something which we ourselves also have, but we fail to look at it because we really kind of have the magnifying glass in hand when we look at ourselves. So I think one is, of course, accepting it and then start working towards it, because when we work with the other family members with that acceptance, automatically people are participative in the process of growth and self realization, and how they can kind of combat some of these challenges. Because let's say
True.
somebody has anger issues, right? So it's not in a single day that this anger issue is going to go off. So one has to slowly take baby steps in terms of addressing that behavioral challenge that the person has.
Absolutely. And while Manaswini, myself, and Manvita, we were discussing about this particular topic, we
Mhm.
got an acronym, JOEL, J
Okay,
O E L.
interesting.
J
Huh.
for judging. When do
Mhm.
family disputes come? When we find ourselves judging each other, right? For rather who we are not, or who we are, right? Uh,
Right.
O stands for, in terms of opinions, we all have our own opinions, and we're entitled to have our own opinions. When opinions don't match, again, the disputes come in, right? And
True.
E stands for, we are not giving the necessary space and empowerment to each other. Uh,
Hmm.
so we believe that how can so and so do it, or why that person did not do it, and so on. And L stands for limitations. Limitations could be space related, geography related, generation related, any kind
True.
of limitation. So this came up in our discussion. You want to add anything, Vanessa?
Yeah. Obviously, when opinions differ, there will be discussions, debates, and other, when opinions clash, there can be disputes, but they can obviously be solved by discussing and considering each opinion, respecting each opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
True. And in Joel, E also stands for expectation. When we feel the other
Right.
person is not meeting our expectation, then
Right.
again there is a mismatch. And whenever Lavanya says, "Come, I have to talk to you," then both the kids, exchange glance. Oh, boss is calling to her cabin, and he's going to have earful now.
True.
So it happens in corporate, right? When the boss is asking you to come and meet me in the cabin, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, what's going to
Yeah.
happen? Absolutely. Very true.
So that's on the limitation. Thanks, Nupur, for that question. And I also have Raghu Jagannathan. He's my brother-in-law joining in from Chennai, along with my
Ah.
sister Bharati and kids. He brings in a very interesting topic. He says, since COVID has forced us to be at home, missing our day life, what's the importance of being physically and mentally there with different generations at home? Right? Yeah. So there are
Nice.
grandparents, in-laws, all coexist under the same roof, and we have more people to take care. Their dietary requirements, emotional requirements, even TV remote could be required at different points in time
Absolutely.
for different channels, and any kind of rituals that they need to practice at home. So there is a wide, range of issues that we have to face as a family, as a team, while we are in a joint family. Anything you want to add, Sonali and family? Anyone?
Yeah, I think that's a difficult one, of course. However, what I've generally seen is that when everyone's home, then a lot of interactions, dialogue, and again, accepting, giving space to each other is something very essential. Because while one person gets up very early, the other person may not be able to do such things. We cannot have a army regimented school where we kind of command and demand certain things, right? So I think the more accepting you are and you demonstrate the behaviors that you feel can help the others, it all starts with you, because like we all have control first on ourselves. So if we can conduct ourselves with that kind of
Mature.
thought and maturity, that yes, I'm not going to say something which is going to cause discomfort to somebody else, and I'm going to conduct myself in such a way which I'm role modeling something which can help everyone. Because even exercising, having the right food at home has become a major requirement for the immunity building, etc., right? So yeah, I think we need to start with ourselves and then gradually have conversations with the rest of the family, with a accepting mind that yes, they will come on your side if you're logical and if it is helpful to everyone.
True, absolutely right. It's, starting with space, uh,
Yeah,
we may be having constraints on space while we have to keep our video and audio on for work or school,
right,
while
right,
others have to move around. Yeah, all of
absolutely
these. And we have now multiple devices as well. All
true,
require internet,
right,
some kind of clash there as well. So all of this, to work it out, we need highly efficient resource management at home.
true.
And when you have multiple generations at home, there is one more point brought in by my friend Madan and his
Hmm.
family. They're joining in from Bangalore. They're saying the team dynamic also changes as the kids grow, particularly as they enter their teens. Absolutely. So we have teenagers here as well. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, absolutely.
How do you experience family? Maybe we'll start with Saloni. Has anything changed in your perspective since you entered into teens? About family, I mean.
Uh, Before I became a teenager, I took every sentence that was spoken by my parents and my brother as a fact. And when I became a teenager, I started to doubt whether everything they said was completely true.
That's very deep.
Yeah.
Let's hear from your brother. What do you think?
Um, when I was a teenager, everything was normal. There was no COVID or anything, so I think everything was fine.
Did you find her as an annoying sister who keeps grabbing your attention and wanting your time, or she was very peaceful, quiet, and
Um, no, it's fine. Everything is fine.
yeah, my sister is also here, watching this. I can tell you, we have done so many things together, all mischievous, naughty things, adventurous things together. And we would keep them a secret from our parents. That's how we were when we were teenagers, I believe. Many things that we now talk about, my parents didn't even know. And we were in a joint family with many people in the family, uncles, aunts, cousins, and so on. But we managed to have our own adventure as siblings. Yeah. So let's hear from Manaswini. When you entered into teen, did anything change as a concept of family?
Yeah, I felt that I need to take up more responsibilities and contribute more, to the family and help even more than I was doing before. And also, I feel sometimes as a teenager, I required more space to do my own things,
Yeah.
right? So that was another change.
Right. And now she's asking for more social media access as well. Yeah, these are the changes. Yeah, thanks, Madan, for that question. I think as the children grow, the needs and the environment keeps putting new kind of expectation and pressure on the family. Yes.
True.
So we have one more question prepared for our discussion, Sonali and team. Um, yeah, why don't you share the
So,
question?
what are the things that you discovered about your family during lockdown? Like the new
Hmm,
things?
new thing. Hmm.
What?
What are the new things we discovered about each other during lockdown?
Oh, that we all of us are very good cooks, and I'm the master chef.
Yeah, so we really kind of realized that he could have an alternate profession as a chef. So that was one major discovery. So let's see if he takes it on post
And
lockdown.
post lockdown, we will take up that challenge and come and
Yeah,
visit
yeah,
you in Bangalore.
absolutely. Open invite to all to come and see Captain Datta's cooking.
Fantastic.
Live
And
kitchen.
Captain Datta, you have a competitor in both of them here. They try a lot of new stuff. They watch YouTube channels. Yeah, why don't they talk about your chef
Yeah.
escapades, your culinary skills? Go ahead. Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I can, like, we see recipes and we just improvise. Uh, I sometimes even like do surprises for my sister when she's studying, and like she like her face is like mind blown, and I'm very I like I it's very happy for me when she like mind blown, and like she's like, oh my gosh, wow. And sometimes when we cook together, like we kind of experiment stuff, and it's very fun.
Yeah, and we get a lot of tension, me and Lavanya, because they keep fighting for space and what to do and so on, right? But still, at the end of it, they surprise us with some new dish or new way of cutting fruits or presenting fruits. Even yesterday, the little one, she came up with some kind of arrangement of watermelon, mango, and so on. It
Wow.
was fantastic. I'll put it on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Please do. That's good.
And I learned a new expression from her. Whenever she sees something amazing, she does this. Do it once for us.
It's just like a mind blown thing.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, that's like her eureka moment.
Well, we've been doing a lot of yoga and all under her coaching.
Wow.
And I
Okay.
and serious yoga, a lot of breathing stuff and all, which because all activities were closed. I think It did help. It helped, at least me, and it did help all of us actually.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
something you
who knows,
uncovered about.
maybe because of that, we are safe today. You never know.
No,
Mm.
another thing is, like yoga really becomes a lifestyle. So I think we have been practicing, we have taken up a lot of sattvic ways of life and stuff like that. I completed my certification with S. Vyasa, and that's where, this entire journey of learning of Vedas, Upanishads, and sharing with the family, doing yoga every day. I think that's really been very nice experience for all of us.
Yeah, true. And talking about food, Rakesh agrees with us. He
Mm.
says family food unites family members, especially when we experiment in kitchen together. Lockdown is a great time for that perspective. Yeah, thanks Rakesh for sharing that.
I've actually heard a quote that family that eats together stays together.
अरे वाह.
Yeah, क्या बात है. So true.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
so I think this is more of American saying or a Western saying, uh, because they eat together the last meal of the day, either a supper or dinner, and they talk about what all happened during the day, and we do that as a matter of practice.
Right.
Sometimes we are busy on our devices, we don't talk much, we just come, talk, and then go. Then suddenly one of us, maybe usually it is Lavanya, who says all devices out, and after that there is no discussion on I need mobile or anything. Then we start talking about what's happening and so on. Yeah,
Nice.
many a times she is the one who creates the rules and upkeeps.
Fantastic.
TV
Right.
remotes go out of the table, phones
I
go
know.
out of the table, or complete digital detox while having food. Yeah.
That's what Saloni does for us. And she says that, like you should create some form of separation also from the devices sometimes. Good for
Yeah,
your
but
health.
and do you find it therapeutic? And how do you find this practice, staying away from digital devices
In
while
fact,
having
it's
dinner?
become a problem at times because earlier I used to be on my phone most of the time, and people were very used to me picking up the phone immediately. But these days, I miss a lot of calls, and then when I call back, they are like, "Where were you? Where was your phone?" And I'm like, you know what? I was doing my detox, I was watering the garden, spending time with my pets and all, and I totally forgot about the existence of something called the mobile phone. So it's amazingly kind of rejuvenating when it comes to spending time with nature, like Saloni mentioned, and of course away from gadgets and any kind of screen. So that does a lot of good to the body as well as the mind.
Right. Thank you. And anything else you have discovered about your family?
I think one thing that we have discovered is, come what may, we are all there for each other because there are times when there's a lot of fear which is being created, whether it's media, whether it's news, and whenever we sit together, I think what we focus on is the fact that we are leading today with a smile is more important, and focusing on what are the good things rather than focusing on the news and getting paranoid and beating yourself up. So that is one major thing. As a family, we have discovered that every moment can be lived joyfully if we are together, and we never realized that it could be so nice and conducive. Being just together is a kind of event, is happiness, is blissful.
True, true. And one thing I can vividly remember is when the pandemic first wave started last year, Manaswini
Mhm.
was getting into her 10th standard, and we
Mhm.
were asked by her school teachers and other authorities to say what would be her next step, what
Mm.
kind of career path that she has to choose. And
Right.
for three of us, Lavanya, Manaswini, and myself, we had multiple rounds of conversation on that topic. Saw many websites, YouTube channels, and so on. discovered many things about my daughter only at that assignment, I should say,
Right,
which I
right.
was really surprised. And Lavanya was so intuitive, empathetic, and
Hmm.
she mentioned very clearly what are the instances how Manaswini behaved in last few years. Since I was away, I was not very close.
Right,
I
right.
found it very new, and that's something I would always remember saying. I'm seeing, but I'm not, quote unquote, seeing what's happening in front of me.
Right, right, right. Yeah, and especially in your case, you were like away from home most of the time. So this would be a great time for you to reunite with family, spend that time, experience that joy, because that's something which
True.
you missed out so many years.
Also, my dad went through a medical issue that also brought me very close to him.
Right.
My sister, my mom, all these are relationships at times we take for granted, or we don't
True,
call every day to check how they're doing, what they're doing. Even when
true.
we call, we talk very superficial things like what's happening, what is there for dinner, what is there for lunch, and
Mm,
so on. The
mm.
deeper connect started happening during pandemic. I think I've started asking more, better questions, and I've
Yeah.
started listening better. I've started listening for silences between the sentence, and so on. I think that was a big discovery for me.
Awesome. Excellent.
You want to share anything?
Cool, Shalini.
Okay. And there's another message from Rajaraman Ramachandran. Yes, he's joining in from Singapore. Hi, Rajaraman. Family bonding has improved as the family spends more time together physically at home. Though each one may be locked up in different room, at least we try to have our lunch together. When we just talk to each other while eating, gadgets are a no-no during this time. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, most of us are, finding benefit
Consciously
of this.
following. Yeah. Very nice.
Thank you for sharing that. In fact, I was reading Unilever HR head's interview in one of the magazine, and what she said is so true. We are all in this storm, but we are in our own boats. Our
True.
boats are different. We are not on the
Absolutely.
same boat facing the same storm. Storm could be same, the epidemic, but as a
Right.
family, as a team, we are all facing this, individually in our own boats. So that's a big learning for me. So don't never take the other person for granted. Always thank, always appreciate, even if it's a small thing. Helping with a plate for lunch or dinner, or getting water, or each small
Mm.
act of what we do for each other. I think there is much more greater appreciation in these days. So with
Absolutely.
that, let
Yeah.
me go to the last part of the conversation. Uh,
Yeah.
Family as a team. When did you realize that this is something uh, you have to nurture, and what is the next stage of evolution you think we are heading towards?
So I think you know what, Bhaskar. Interestingly, like I've always felt it started with my husband. So I always, felt that we are great project team members. Okay, so whatever we do, it's not on the Excel sheet, but it's very well planned. And after we decide, of course, and Manaswini mentioned sometime back, having each other's back. So, from a very initial stage, even before marriage, we have seen with our parents, with our siblings, and everything, we've always played that role. And having been in sports, I felt that it came to me naturally. More often than not, I tell my daughter, you know, you cannot do this because I'm your team, right? I'm your cheerleader, always, cheering for whatever you wish to do and pursue, right? So I think I consciously nurture this thought, come what may, every single day. And even when I was in corporate, at times I was not cooking, I was not going buying things, and my husband was doing it, or my son was ordering things. In fact, at a very young age, maybe when he was in sixth or seventh, all the shops used to call him sir. Sir Somesh hai, and they would call and ask for it because he used to order all the groceries, used to do all that. So of course, coming from a training background, that training started very early, that we are a team. This is what we have to do for each other, and it's no job is like my job, it's our job, and we can all alternate. This is like cross skilling happening between us, right? So whether it's cooking, washing, whatever it is, watering the garden, etc., everything we all know, and if we have to do it, we can do it. I think the next progressive step would be to ensure that, even in our friend circle or working with vendors, because now that we are entrepreneurs or, like coaches, we are working with so many people, they also become part of your trusted circle, right? Because when you work, the biggest thing that we offer is confidentiality and no judgment, right? These two are the bottom, what should I say, foundation rocks for any relationship. And the moment you can build these two in a relationship, automatically the family DNA comes into it. That's the way to
Absolutely.
introduce that I won't
Absolutely.
judge you, and whatever you speak to me is confidential, stays only with me, right?
Right.
I think that's the way to extend to the larger society. Find the right people, surround yourself with those energy magnets, like you mentioned the other day. You are actually, like a part of the five people that you share your time with. Your personality matches with them. So I think we spend a lot of time with our family. So plus minus, we'll definitely have each other's characteristics. So we need to be conscious about it and see which ones are really working for us and which ones we need to work on and improve on. So
True.
that would be my
Absolutely.
take.
Well said. And where are we going from here? On a lighter note, Rajaraman is saying they're heading here to Bangalore to experience the culinary delights of the younger ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
also.
yeah. Quite a few chefs we have today online, right?
True. And willing guinea pigs who can't run away, right?
Absolutely,
We should
absolutely.
appreciate that as well. Yes. And talking about this intimacy, right?
Yeah,
Earlier, the intimacy was more about blood relation. It's now extending beyond that circle to even friends who are rushing to our support or help when in need. So when I
right.
wanted blood for my dad's, to replace at the hospital, the friend circle immediately chipped in. Within no time, I had volunteers coming to hospital, asking, how many bottles you need, and that was really heartwarming. So such is the power of intimacy. And
Yeah.
one of my good close friend taught me how to pronounce intimacy. Into me, you see.
Say that again.
Into me.
Intimacy is pronounced
Ah,
as into me, you see.
into me, you see. Beautiful, beautiful.
So
Very nice.
it's not just what we say or what we do; it's about
Mm,
knowing us, in a much more deeper connect.
yeah,
Yeah,
well
true.
said.
And we have Rakesh also sharing. So much talent was unexplored. Yes, I realized I'm a barber for my son. Yes, Manaswini did haircutting in the first wave when everything was totally locked down. Okay, don't
Wow.
give me that look. I realized I can cook. My father could catch up on social media. My wife can use music to change our mood. Yeah, Rakesh's wife is a therapist, and her dissertation is on how to use music as a therapy in surgery in hospitals. And I have
Wow.
had so many discussions with Rakesh. It's a very new area,
Yeah.
right? My
Beautiful.
mother is a storyteller for my son, more to be
Mm,
explored. Yes, family is a powerhouse of all of us, an interesting team to be together. Absolutely right,
mm.
Rakesh. And whatever differences we have to sort out by talking it out,
Yeah.
sharing our expectations, sharing our needs, and so on. You want to add anything?
No.
Yes. So with that, we just wanted to say thank you to all of you who are there on this episode. And also a big thanks to all of you who have liked our podcast. That's something we have recently explored as a family. I'll just show the screen here. Yes,
Beautiful.
it's called B Shots. It's
What
a
does B
family
stand
show.
for? Hmm.
P for Bhaskar, and
Okay.
shorts, short
Hmm.
podcast episodes. It's
Hmm.
available on iTunes, Spotify, and 8 other platforms. And the
Wow.
idea came while we were working together as a family. And we have an editor, we have a composer, we have a script writer, we have a blooper section in charge. Manvita
Wow.
is the blooper section in charge. She knows what kind of bloopers should go into the episode. And we also have a session or episode director, Manaswini. And I'm thinking that this is something as a team we have uncovered a hidden talent in us, and
Mhm.
we are now running a competition globally. I'm sure Saloni, I hear that you also have a podcast, right? Why don't you tell us about your podcast?
I don't know about it. I don't have any podcast. As far
Her
as I know.
podcast, actually, she sang those songs and recited the poems, and I created the podcast for her as a
Oh,
surprise.
nice.
Which she said that, like, without my permission, you shouldn't have done it. I said, first version, you can
Mothers
get.
are like that, huh? They don't need any permission. They are so empathetic and compassionate. They don't need no permission. So, what is the
Tell
name
me
of the
more.
podcast?
No, 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 no. It's going to be deleted soon.
Don't deprive us of your talent. Come
No,
on.
it's not talent. It's just a pastime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Allow us to be part of it. That's how we get to know you, right? Put yourself out there so we can experience
I never
what
put
are your
myself.
thoughts.
Yeah, I think, Bhaskar, you need to mention one thing which you mentioned to me the other day, that we don't need to be a complete perfect 10 on 10 to start doing something, right?
Yes, yes.
Can you share a little bit on that with us?
So that's something I've learned in this pandemic. Many a times I'm more of quality conscious. Same thing I see with Lavanya, Manaswini. Until unless a product is to our satisfaction, we don't put it out there in the world. We believe that what will people think of us? What will you know? If they find it substandard, how will they carry an image about me, and so on. What is important right now is put it out there, take feedback, and when you release the next version or any other episode or any output or a product, you are much better person than what you were earlier.
Correct.
Unless until you get feedback, you will not be able to improvise. Second, there are many kinds of people out there.
Right.
For some, you are an inspiration. You don't know,
Absolutely.
right?
Right.
Even a small act of what we do becomes an inspiration to someone, and that seed sprouts later. The reason why I asked Captain Datta where you got your inspiration to become a pilot is because I heard a story about Ratan Tata when he was a pilot and he was flying even at a very advanced age. He wanted to fly a monoplane from Pakistan to India, and doctors were not allowing him to do that. And after 2 years, 3 years of convincing doctors, he finally got permission, and he flew. There was a photographer, who was there after he landed. He asked him to take a picture. And the next day, it came in Times of India. 25 years later, that picture came back to archives of Tata in Pune by the parents of a girl who had been to space and who carried that picture with her because only very few personal items are allowed to go along with the astronaut. And this picture of Ratan Tata, posing 25 years ago, was a seed of inspiration for this little girl,
Beautiful.
Kalpana Chawla, and that is there still in the archives of Tata. So we don't know what act would inspire others. So don't worry about your quality, Saloni. This is a standard that we carry in our head. It could be inspiration to somebody out there. Who are we to stop it? So keep
True.
spreading, keep keep spreading the cheer. Like
Awesome.
you are getting inspired by many.
Yeah.
Let there could be so many of them who could see your poetry or your music, whatever you do. Please put it out there.
Right. And also, Bhaskar wanted to really, kudos to you and hats off to you with what you have done in a short span of time with your family. Because like I know you have invested a lot of time on the teams, on the people that you worked with, whether it's Tata Strive and even otherwise. And just a little bit of time at home and look at what you have created within last, 8 9 months. So
It's
we have
teamwork.
right here, at our homes, which we sometimes, run short of time of, and, we neglect that aspect of our life. But
True. And
that's
Rajaram captured this, sentiment, what you are saying, very beautifully. He says,
mm,
pre-COVID, we had freedom, but we were
right,
disconnected. During
right.
COVID, we were imprisoned, but we strongly connected.
Be strong.
Very
Very
well
true.
said.
Very
Yes,
awesome.
absolutely. With that, thank you so much for
Thank you.
giving us your time. Thank you,
Pleasure.
Saloni.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you, Captain Datta. Thank you so much for joining. It's been a pleasure. And we
Have
will
fun.
drop in for
Enjoy
your culinary delights.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Bye.
Yes, thank you.
You've
Thank you
got
for joining us on the live stream.
you're very 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 nice.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And your sister is very matured.
I think she's drawing inspiration from Saloni.
Wonderful.
I think you both are awesome.
Mm, beautiful people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, even I think you both are. You all
Yeah.
are.
All are a very nice inspiration.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
joining.
Bye
Bye
bye.
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 Thank you.